All right, we're live again. I wasn't sure I was gonna go live today or not, but I did promise people on the main channel I'll be on today. It's an anything goes chat today. No holds bar type chat. We'll talk a little bit of everything from what's recent going on in Vegas, what just happened recently on your late night talk shows, and uh, there's other channels out there basically doing what they like to do because they don't agree with them. They make all find out who they are and makes them lose their jobs, and that's where trouble brewing in those areas. Yes, it is going to be a gloves off type chat today. We're going for the jugular today, and that. So sit back, put on your seatbelts, let's get rocking and that. So, for the ones who are watching on a later time, you notice, yep, I finally was overdue on that one. I tried to talk myself into one. Yeah, because I was kind of going out everywhere. It was getting uncomfortable, too hot, too sweaty, and that. So, and maybe lose a few pounds there. Okay, if anybody watched recent videos about the news out in Vegas with Manny, the clown, the Imbo, the accused murderer, of course, he is going to plead his innocence. He has every right to say that. Unfortunately, that is the sad part about it. They did retain a lawyer. His job as a lawyer is either get a total dismissal or find a way to get his sentence reduced if he goes to trial. It sounds like it's going to go to trial. I guess he wants a trial. He's taking his chance on it. And the prosecutors are already still leaning on the death penalty and that. So, hey, Mark, how you doing? And that. Well, uncut. Let's go. That's right. No editing on this one. Yeah. The He's facing the death penalty. The clown is facing the death penalty. I saw his last video. Looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. Looks like he had a little bit too much sex with his cellmate and that. So he looks pretty well stressed out. I think he knows his days on this planet is doomed, but it does take a long process. It's still a long process yet to go and that. So let's say hypothetically he gets convicted for first degree murder of two people, Finny and Bubbly, and he gets the death penalty. It's going to take years of appeals. I think it's going to take at least 10, 15, maybe 20 years of appeals. It's going to take a long. It all depends on the appeal process. He just keeps appealing, that was delayed. Then eventually, a judge will sign the so-called death warrant, and the execution must be performed within that time frame. And that. So, my NCA, no clowns allowed. Yeah. So technically, he's just in order to save his life, they would have to do a plea deal. And I've been hearing some lot of low ball plea deals out there, very low ball. I think reality is you're looking at a bare minimum of 50 years behind bars, with a slight chance of parole in the last 10 years of that 50 years if they take that plea deal, if that plea deal is offered. Otherwise, the next best plea deal is life without parole. And the final ultimate decision, it could go either way. It would be the death penalty, but sometimes they may not even go with the death penalty. They'll just go life without parole and that. So what we call in the election years, back a few years ago, when lost parole, ran election, life life behind bars with no chance of Ross parole. That's what we used to do back in the days when Ross Perot used to run for president as an independent. And that was the days Bill Clinton got elected. Yeah, so yeah. Hang on, I've been having a runny nose lately. Hang on a second, I'll mute you guys. Yeah, it was a good joke, isn't it? Yeah, it was a good joke. That was a joke of the days during the late 80s, early 90s when Bill Clinton ran. Ross Perot decided to run too, and it basically swung the votes to Bill Clinton, just took votes away from George Bush, not once, but twice with somebody else. That's why we made the jokes with anybody who was during the election cycle who was sentenced to jail for murder without parole. We say, "Oh, there they go. They're getting, uh, they're going to prison without a chance of Ross parole." Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Yes, there was another incident happening on Fremont Street last weekend. This has happens to a guy named Paco. He was featured on our live streams. The guy speaks no English, but his girlfriend Gabby does help translate for us, which is nice of her, and all that stuff. And what happened was one of Manny's friends. I don't know if the video actually exists still, but the best video came from a YouTube channel. It came from Gabby's YouTube channel because they, with Gab, where a guy, short guy, long black hair. He was actually wearing the Sin City family T-shirt, loud and proud, and got bumping with Paco and started a little incident. Things rubbing the wrong way. Well, that guy with the mustache, long black hair, and sunglasses. That was the guy goes by the name of Machete, and and his girlfriend or wife, big girl. They called her Big Bird. Yeah, right, Big Bird. Big girl for a big name. You need Big Bird. Yeah. Yeah, there was an incident on that. Security was right there. Chuck, do you think that Bill was still guilty of? Uh, do you think Bill was guilty of his? Yeah, Paco, Gabby, good old Vegas vendettas. Yeah, uh, because they were minding their own business. They were dancing away, and Machete decided to right in front of all the video cameras too. This is probably the worst thing you would do, and that. So yeah, it gets right into their face and all that stuff, pushing and shoving and all that stuff. Paco and Gabby was allowed to stay on Fremont, but the guy who started the incident was asked to leave for 24 hours. He was just asked to leave for the rest of the night, go home, then come back later. But these people, I'm just going to just be blunt. They need to start filing charges. If you get assaulted by somebody, or just doesn't have to be innocent bump. I mean, if you think you got enough to file assault charges, do it, and that. So that's why I tell Angie when we go on vacation. If you don't know the person, don't be starting grabbing and hugging and all that stuff because that's considered assault. Just say hi and all that stuff, and you're fine. All that stuff. So yeah, you're fine and dandy in that areas too, and that. So okay, you guys hear the news recently? CBS decided to cancel Stephen Colbert's Late Show. This is the very same show that David Letterman helped build an empire. And Stephen Colbert decided to flush it down the toilet. Yes, he did. Because he took away the entertainment factor. He just made it an agenda-driven late show, which people are looking for late night entertainment, and that the late show is no more until next May. That's right, it ends in May. Unfortunately, like I said, when TV shows get canceled, they have to fulfill, especially shows like that, they have to fulfill their contracts, appearance, all that stuff. And most of these are usually people who has an agenda, want to push an agenda. Remember Johnny Carson, David Letterman, and even Jay Leno. Uh, Remember where they used to do? They come on, they'll do their monologue. They basically, it's not all about politics. They make jokes about everyday life, other current events, and all that stuff. It just makes jokes throughout. Excuse me here for a second. Gotta wet my whistle once in a while. Okay. Just makes jokes. It's about like a 5 minute monologue. Then when they come back, then the host usually does a skit. My favorite skit from the Johnny Carson is when they did the Great Karnak. Yeah, remember the Great Karnak? He comes stumbling out, trips. My favorite part when he trips over and makes the table collapse. I wonder how the WWE got that table. got the form of that table because it collapsed perfectly. It didn't break. It just folded up on itself in that. So Conan Perot, yeah, he did some good comics too. Conan was good in his early days, but he just got more political towards in his career, and it made me stop watching. Uh, Jay Leno, like I said, if you're gonna do it proper, this is how they used to do it in the old days. Like Johnny Carr said, "Hey JW, JW878, missed the early part of this live stream, we can always catch it." Uh, what they did in the old days on those late night shows is basically a 5 minute monologue, jokes of the day, story jokes, it's like story jokes and current events, a little bit of politics, a little bit of sports, just a little bit that they can throw together as a little monologue. Then they do their skit. They come back, do their skit, where basically Johnny Carson did the Karnak, did the dealership guy, and did another thing. All of a sudden, there's David Letterman used to go out when he moved to the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York. He used to go out to the neighbors' businesses and do skits there and all that stuff. And some made famous, and some decided, I don't want to be a part of it no more because that's all people was coming in is getting autographs. They're not buying anything. So he did respect that decision too. But the other people decided, hey, help my business, or we'll continue it. And that. So yeah, that was great. There he helped local businesses there too. David Letterman. Did Stephen Colbert did anything like that? No. He brings his politicians in. He brings people who has an agenda. No entertainment value at all. Like I said, in the old days, you had your monologue, your skit. You bring on your first guest. It's usually like a comic who's on tour. Then once in a while they'll bring in an actor promoting an upcoming movie release. I miss those days, and that, and a final mishack. Then that was the whole show, and that was entertainment from start to finish, and that. Then eventually those days dwindled down to more what they call 60-minute propaganda shows, and that's what happened. There's no entertainment value. Nobody's not promoting their movies. Nobody's not promoting their TV shows. You don't even get a guy from Zoo bringing in remember Jim Fowler used to come in online, Johnny Carson. A pro wrestler would come in and promote, a wrestling show and all that stuff. That was back then. That was entertaining. Of course, David Belzer, not David Belzer, but that one guy who Hogan put him in a front face lock. He totally collapsed, cracked his head open. end up suing Hogan for a lot of money and that. So and that never called wrestling fake, it's because he put him in a front face lock that made him didn't tap out. He just took the hold in that. Yeah, Carson was great in that. So was Jay Leno, and so that Bill Maher, but he just got out of it. That was just an old late show. That was a politically incorrect show, I think he was talking about. But he has gone more moderate in recent years. I thought another person, Piers Morgan, I thought he was an ultra left guy. He's got to be more moderate lately because you know why they're going more moderate? Because when they go extreme left, or even shows that goes extreme right, that's too far right or too far left, they lose interest. People lose interest. They turn off. They don't like the propaganda. And even right wingers are guilty of the same problem too. The far right, the lunacy right, we call it. And I don't even talk to those people and that because the best way to be somewhere in the middle and all that stuff. And that's what makes our country great in a way. If we can just all get along, yeah, Rodney King crap, but yeah, it's just all get along and just have fun and that. Don't get offended when someone is. I seen occasional like videos on YouTube. Someone gets offended because a certain person is in the city park and all that stuff. Like I said, this is gonna be a no hold barred type stuff. So we'll be going from nighttime shows. But yeah, I'm glad. Good riddance to Stephen Colbert. I hope you find a job in a dish room in New York City, washing dishes where you belong, and all that stuff. You sometimes, like I said, you make these millions of dollars, then all of a sudden you got no views. Yeah. See, what I look at YouTube is I'm not in it for the views. I'm not in it for the views at all. And that I don't care if this video gets shared or not. If I got one person watching, one person put a like on it, I'm good. And that's what makes YouTube great. Yeah, Stephen Colbert, he was just blaming it. When he heard this news, guess who he does? As always, that the left does. Blame somebody else. They blame everybody else but themselves. And that. So let's say if YouTube takes down this channel, there's no one else's fault but my own because that's it. That's the way it works. That's how the cookie crumbles and that. But when someone in the far left doesn't get what they want, they blame somebody else for their problems. And that is the main issue. It's learn to take responsibility for own actions. Thus, you have the ability to control what you put up on the TV. I have the ability, what I would like to say, without being too mean, just say my point, say my opinion. Of course, my opinion never matters anyway, but it's just my opinion. That. And I do say that. I do mean it. My opinions don't matter. It's just my opinions is out there, but they don't matter. But you guys listen to it. That's great. So. Okay, like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be on today, but like I said, it's almost a no-hold-barred type situation. Let's go to why is their YouTube channels obsessed making when someone posts something, they don't agree with them, and they get so upset. Excuse me here. Go with what my host. Nobody knows how this should be funny anymore. That's right. Because what's sad about it is when you make jokes, look at the jokes back in the day. Those jokes will never fly today than they did back in the day. It's like especially Don Rickles. When Don Rickles, the great late Don Rickles, holy cow, did he had some jokes you wouldn't believe. Rodney Dangerfield was pretty good. Oh, got no respect here and all that stuff. Uh, and then you may remember the early years of Joan Rivers. She was pretty good too. I didn't really care for her style of comedy, but she was pretty good too. Also, you just have to admit it once in a while. Maybe I didn't see the talent in her, but she did pretty good. Once in a while. Check out some interesting stuff right there and that. So that's Mark's blog post. So hang on a second. I got to roll blow my nose again. Like I said, I do have a sinus issue today. Weather's been very not cooperative lately. Just not good today. Just not good today. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Where technically, where someone gets tells a story joke. Yep. But when they tell a story joke, it just seems like people get offended. That you know, you go into these shows, you want to be entertained, and you're forcing yourself to the entertainer to force them to hear what they want to hear, which is not uh, something that's not part of the show and that. So I mean, if you don't agree what they say in the show, there's always, instead of heckling and all that stuff, just get up out of your seat, walk out the door, and just say, "I don't want to be part of that entertainment no more." That's your right. Your right as a consumer and all that stuff. Uh, so if I was attending a show and I thought it was just a little bit too offensive for me, instead of booing or being rude to the show while everybody else is enjoying the show, instead of being rude, I just quietly just very simple, just get up and leave, and that. And I did that a couple of times. I did that once in Vegas. I was filming for Big Elvis, and I was on a time restraint. I filmed what I need to film. I was very polite, walking out the store, getting the final few video clips, and we made our closing, and we started our video right away. And just when I was talking from, we went from doing Big Elvis to talking about the Deuce in Vegas and that. So it's just about being polite and that. So people thought I was rude by leaving in the middle of the show, but I wasn't the only one. I was not the only one just coming in the middle of the show. I was not the only one leaving the show because people is on a time restraint, and of course, a lot of people today they have short attention spans anyway, so that could be an issue too. But that's a different issue for a different rant. I don't really like to rant on that too, and that so. Uh, Okay, like I said, there's people here on YouTube will do anything just to get clicks and views on their channel, even if they don't agree what someone says politically. Okay, you can have a political debate all you want. Uh, just you know, say your point without insulting. The other side just has to end up insulting anyway because they lost when they insult. When someone results to insults, they lost the debate. Let's put it that way. They lost the debate. There's no debate about it. They lost, so they're upset over it. So they started name calling and on all that stuff. Now, there's YouTube channels out there. They'll be upset when someone says something by accident or not intentional, but yet they go out of their way to find out who that person is, go attack his livelihood. I know karma is a can be a bitch when it comes to the videos when someone gets out of hand, uh, being rude, inconsiderate, uh, you know, make racist comments and all that stuff. Sometimes karma can be its own thing and that. And I have seen many people with racist rants on videos. And when those videos got out, when the employers found out that that was one of their employees, oh, guess what? Bye bye your job, because that's what they don't want. And that they don't want that and that. So when we post videos, we are very careful of what we say, what we do. It's not what we do; it's what we say. It's what we say gets people offended at some point, and that. And I know it's not easy because sometimes you're waking up and you're looking for a some kind of pink slip or some other issues and all that stuff. And like I said, you got to be very careful when you post videos and that. Yes, this goes back to other people in Vegas too. Certain ones, like those videos don't exist no more because actually they're in private. I think they're in private or YouTube took them down. But I think they kept them for evidence in that. But that's another story in that. Just can't wait for the trial on that one. Okay, like I said, uh, imagine if you're holding a $125,000 a year job and you're totally walking your dog. Remember this Central Park Karen? Yeah, the Central Park Karen in New York. Yeah, made a racist rant, choking her dog, which is a violation. It's dog abuse. Accusing another guy for not having his dog on the leash and being, certain color skin and all that. So just continued ranting and raving. When the video came out, found out she lost her job and now she's facing charges for animal cruelty because she was choking the dog because she was scared of a guy walking his dog who has to be in a different skin color than her. And that is a problem. Oh, remember these when these first Karen videos came out, you had like Barbecue Becky, you had Poolside Pete, you had Permit Patty. They come up with weird names, and all of a sudden, let's just call them Karens. Let's call them Karens and Darrens. Now, no offense to a Darren I know here in town, but and no offense to any Karens we know here on the channel. But these are people who just go rants and raves over nothing. These are nothing new. This is not just happened in 2020. These goes for a long, long, long time. And that never be a cure for stupidity, even online, especially social media, and here on YouTube and Twitch and all that. Twitch, don't forget Twitch, Kick, and all that other YouTube video other video platforms here on that too. But yeah, once it gets posted on the internet and it goes viral, nothing comes out of it. So that's why when you see people, it's like when you see people with a camera, and when I'm going around town doing my live streaming and all that stuff, and I see people on their phones, don't know what they're doing, and all that, and they just now, like I said, anything can happen on YouTube, and that's why it's always important to try to watch the entire live stream, especially when someone does a walking around town, because you never know what could happen. But it all depends how late you want to stay up to watch that stuff too. So I get this text message, always get this text message, and I found out it's fake because they don't I don't have no outstanding traffic ticket here in Iowa, and I have a warning, a verbal warning in Vegas. So I don't know some, and they send you a mailing instead. So I got a text message from Department of Motor Vehicles saying they're going to suspend my driver's license if I don't pay an undue ticket. They don't send texts; they send you mail, spam. Yeah. No, they send you a registered letter, let you know. And they don't text you at all. They're not supposed to text you or email you. They're supposed to send you a registered official letter. That's the way they're supposed to do it. And that. And besides that, Department of Motor Vehicles only have my new number if I gave it to them, which I never did. And that's all. Funny, isn't it? Uh, how about Permit Patty? Permit Patty was a manager of a business, and when she got mad at a little girl selling bottles of water, saying you need a permit to sell that, got to have a permit to sell that. Everything's got to be. That's why she got the nickname Permit Patty. And when the videos came out, oh boy, the business that she was running lost a lot of businesses. Uh, Lost a lot of businesses. They had business cancellations and they lost a multi-million-dollar business in that. Chuck, do you get Amber Alerts on your phone? Yes, I do. I do get them once in a while. It goes up on your phone automatically. It goes to all phones, all cell phones automatically. I haven't had an Amber Alert here in the States in a while. So we get them all the time. I just don't get them as often in that. So time an Amber Alert gets issued, it's usually too late in most cases because for some reason law enforcement wants you to report the person missing after 24 hours after the fact. And they're trying to change that to if the person is not available, if the person's missing, you got to report it right away. But no, at the time, law enforcement wants you to wait for 24 hours. By then, it was by then, a lot of these cases are too late. It's way too late and that. So if someone is supposed to be home by a time, and like I said, I contact Angie, or Angie contacts me if she's running late. She contacts me, let me know if she's running late. If I'm running late, I contact her, let her know I'm running late and that. So just let her know on my way home so I know I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump, or just I'm nearby or on my en route and that. So like I said, some of these cell phones are great and some of them are not great. But yeah, the Permit Patty lost a lot of businesses. A lot. In fact, she had to shut down her business because she lost a lot of customers because of her rant and that. And Barbecue Becky had to go into psychiatric care because she got mad because somebody had how dare a group of people have a picnic, bring their own grills where they're allowed to have their grills in the city park where they're allowed to have their own grills. And yeah, that meltdown was epic to a point that she needed psychiatric care. All that stuff. that and guys and Poolside Pete was about the same way. Got mad and I remember on my I don't know if channel members will talk about, or I talk about a story on my main channel for my channel members. Poolside Pete was known to make his racist rants against his neighbors who were using the pool at the same time he did. And he didn't like it and just went on a rant. And what got him? Well, it got him evicted. It got him lost his job. And now he's probably living in a cardboard box, probably, or he's in the van down by the river. I'm living in a van down by the river. Hope it floods. Yeah, and that. And of course, these channels, I want to get back on this issue. This is a big issue I really have, is YouTube channels when they have their opinions, they go beyond their opinions. If they don't like what someone says, they will purposely find out who they are, where they work, and they make a lot of false allegations against that person so they lose their jobs. And that is never good. Because if that person can prove that the call came not locally, but it came from someplace else, and when someone comes on and makes wild ideas and wild stories, usually the employer will ask, they'll look at the video. If they see nothing wrong with it, the employee still works. He still has a job and that. And just say, hey, there's a chance people get trolled in that. That's one thing I never do. If I had if I saw something on a live stream, I totally disagree with. I don't make my purpose at all. Just to make their life miserable. They're doing it on their own. Let them do their own damage on their own. They're doing enough damage. They're doing enough damage on their own as it is. You don't need to help them out. And that there's no need to help them out. That because it's damage alone. All you do is just share the video, share your thoughts, and that's it. Uh, let where the chips fall where they may type and that. So yep. Well, Mark, you don't have to agree all the time, but yeah. But let the chips fall where they may. That so. If someone puts up a rant video, and we know a few YouTubers that put up a rant video, and guess what happened to them? They lost their jobs. They lost their jobs. They lost the ability to create content. I think we know a few people personally ourselves, but they lost their content. They can't make their content no more. They have to change the style of their content all of a sudden just to try to be relevant to YouTube, and it's not a good combination and all that. It's just like I said, you gotta be careful. Like I said, when I do a rant, I'm just reacting what I'm seeing in the news. I'm reacting what I'm seeing in the thing. I'm just reacting and just like I said, giving my opinion. And I always say my opinion never matters anyway. And that if you guys have your own opinion, fine. You guys got your own opinion. I have mine. Let's go on our merry way. And that but yeah, when two people get have two different opinions and they don't see eye to eye, all of a sudden, let's say you get in a little debate. Like I said, when someone starts resorting to calling you names and all that stuff, they lost the debate and all that stuff. I had a Facebook friend who nearly lost his job because he had a beef with a big box store here in the States, Walmart. He had a big beef with Walmart, called it the KKK of all that stuff. It's just what they call corporate Klux Klan. He hates corporate businesses. He hates corporate businesses and that. And guess what his job was? He was a meat inspector to a meat plant where basically Walmart and Sam's Club was their biggest customer. I almost tempted to send that clip of him cut and paste, doing his image and all that stuff. I was going to send that to Walmart and say, this is your meat inspector in this city, this town that I personally know, and he's saying crap about your company and that. Yeah, you see how fast you can lose your business too, and that. Wow, I don't even like Walmart either. Nothing those those extremes. Yeah, yeah. If you don't like Walmart, it's very simple. Don't shop there. That's right, Mark. You're exactly. You don't like Walmart, don't shop there. Support another store. Support a mom and pop store. Sure. I miss Kmart. I miss Target here in town. If I have to. When I found out, when I really need something, I don't go to Walmart because I'm wasting my time because they ain't gonna have it there. I just go to Amazon and get it. I just go online. I go online. I get it at Amazon. Woohoo! I get. I probably won't get the best deals, but at least I'll get what I want. Just delivered. Hopefully, no one will steal it. Still miss. I've been to one of those Zeller stores. It's like what is Zeller's? Is that like a grocery store type deal? I've been in one of them I've been in one of them back in 1999 when Angie and I was in. We went from Port Huron to Sarnia, Ontario, and we went to one of those stores. I couldn't think the name of it. Was Zeller's was like a grocery store of some kind. It's almost like I called it our version of a Hy-Vee, where basically you had your. I remember there was a store in Sarnia that had like your grocery store. It had a post office. It had a floral shop. It had a pharmacy. It had a little some kind of little cafeteria and all that stuff. It just makes everything all try to make everything in one trip as possible and that. So great dining, a great diner and food as well. Yep. Food, clothing, electronics. Yeah, I thought we've been to one of them. They were huge stores. We've been to one in I couldn't figure what the name was. So they all closed up in Canada now. Those Zooms? Wow, because they remind me of my. They kind of remind me of like a Walmart, but then there's a competition. Walmart has their competition. It's called Meyer. Meyer's exact same way, where you had your clothing store, your grocery store, your and the other extra stuff, and had a little restaurant and all that. One even had a small casino in it because the state we saw it in had legalized gaming throughout the state, so they had a little designated area for slot machines and that. So but that was not out. That was not out west. It was out east, someplace. I forgot where. And that. I boopsie boopsie. Poop boopsie. Okay. Very popular. Yep. No more zealous either. Target, Lowe's, Sears. No more in America. Yep, that's right. It's uh, it's sad to see stores like that close. Uh, People have their shopping preferences, and they realize when they go to a discount store, you're going to find out you're not going to get your best sales. You're not going to get the items that you used to get at this store. Uh, it's like we all learn our lessons the hard way. You ain't going to get uh, a quality generic product no more, basically. Now our shoes are made in China. I used to have good shoes. It was made in Taiwan. They were good shoes and that. Uh, but yeah, it's just sad to see that businesses like that has to go the other way and that. So yeah, Walmart, Amazon is the biggest competition because if I can't find it anywhere, Amazon is my last resort. Usually, it's my last resort. If, if you can't find it, if you can't find it on Amazon, there's a chance that that product will never exist anymore. So we just have to deal with that part and that. So all right, guys. Like I said, big news in Vegas with Manny's court trial is getting closer and closer. It looks like he will go to trial. His last video clips, I saw him on the news out of Vegas. It looks like a guy lost a lot of sleep on that. And of course, what's not in the news is here on YouTube. One of Manny's biggest supporters decided to attack another YouTuber in a way. He was doing his dancing and decided to bump in and decided he gets offended by it. And he was kicked out of Fremont Street for 24 hours for the rest of that night and that. Uh, Biggest news on the entertainment TV late night shows. Stephen Colbert out in May. He's out of a job because of his. He refuses to go entertain factor. We talk about these late night talk shows. You know, the best late night talk shows always had a monologue, always had a skit, always interviewed a comic actor, an athlete, whatever. Then they interviewed a actress promoting a movie when it's going to be released and that, and they usually have some kind of new musical act to finish out the show. Those were the great days. That's what's called entertainment days. Now today, it's a bunch of crap. Even Saturday Night Live is not it's not enjoyable to watch anymore. I hadn't watched Saturday Night Live since Dana Carvey and all of them left and that. So that's the last time I watched that crap and that. So yeah, nothing but crap and that. So that's what NBC's call letters are. NBC, nothing but crap and that. Uh, but Yeah, I think we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for this live stream, everybody. Thanks, Mark, for being a nice commenter as always. Here on this channel, and of course, over on the Angie and Chuck show. Our daily live videos continues, and that's our daily live videos over there and all that stuff. If you guys don't like my opinions, you gotta remember this: my opinions don't matter anyway. I just want to state my opinions, my thoughts of the day, and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday, what's left of it. Well, it's just beginning here in the Central Time Zone, but enjoy your Sunday. We'll try to be on next week, okay? Stay tuned. We'll see you. Please like, share, subscribe, and notification bell. And we'll catch you on the next one.